They say we're all connected, that everything is one. But they also say we're individuals, each with our own struggles, stories, and pain. So which is it? Have you ever felt torn between the comfort of oneness and the very real experience of being just one person, dealing with your own stuff? Yes, same. There's this teaching that says everything is one, that we're not separate from each other or from life itself. I've been following spiritual teachers who teach this for many years now, and it resonates deeply. But we also live in a world of responsibilities and personal challenges. So, which is it? Do we dissolve into stillness and oneness, or do we live as people with problems and personalities? And can we do both? Hi, I'm really glad you're here. I'm Nusi. Welcome to Wise Discrepancies, where we explore life's contradictory wisdom and see what shines through. Because sometimes wisdom isn't about picking a side, but learning to hold two truths in one hand. Let's start with this word, non-duality. It simply means not two. In this view, everything, people, thoughts, nature, time, is part of one reality. There's no real separation between you and the world. It's all happening in one field of awareness. You might think of it like watching a movie. The characters and events feel real, but it's all just light on a screen. In non-duality, life is seen that way, appearing on the screen of awareness. Rupert Spira puts it this way: experience takes place in awareness, is known by awareness, and is made of awareness. There is only awareness. So instead of being a person watching your life happen, you are the awareness that life appears in. That awareness, the open space that holds all thoughts, emotions, and moments, doesn't come or go. It's just here. Some call it conscious awareness. It's not just noticing what's happening, it's being the presence behind it all. Spiritual teachers often point here, not to a belief or a theory, but to something you can actually feel when things quiet down. Something you can experience directly. That's why meditation is often recommended as a practice, not only for stress relief, but to see what remains when we're not caught in the noise. Rupert Spira puts it this way too. The sense of I becomes quieter, like a wave settling back into the ocean. Not gone, just no longer separate. In non-duality, you're not trying to fix the dream. I'm not trying to fix the dream. You wake up from it. And in waking, you realize your story may feel real, but it doesn't define you. You are the space it's all happening in. Now let's talk about conscious duality. This isn't a term I've heard used in books or teachings. It's just a phrase that I'm using here to describe a way of living that honors the oneness of everything while also fully embracing the human experience. It says, yes, maybe everything is one, but we still live as people in the world. It isn't at odds with non-duality, which is the higher teaching. We wake up in a body, we feel emotions, we deal with laundry and heartbreak and illness, and that's not lesser, it's part of being human. Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us, we are here to awaken from our illusion of separateness. And awakening doesn't mean withdrawing, it means showing up aware. Conscious duality says, live fully, but don't forget what you truly are. Non-duality also says this, but focusing more on being who you truly are. And in non-duality, what we often find out is that there is nothing to be. So instead of being swept up in the story of me and my problems, I live my story with more space. I try to respond instead of react. And when I do react and get it wrong and mess up, I can see it more clearly without getting stuck in blame or spiraling in any other way. I feel emotions, but don't become them. I act and invest in life, but I don't try to control everything. I love, but don't cling. This isn't about being perfect or passive. It's about presence. So what's the difference between the two? Non-duality is like resting as the sky, vast, still, and open. Conscious duality is like moving through life under that sky, laughing, hurting, loving, doing everything, knowing it all comes and goes, but something deeper remains. One is pure being. The other is being with awareness. It isn't about choosing one or the other, of course, but learning to identify with pure being instead of the role, the story, the personality, while still engaging in all of those things too. Here's how that might look like in life. Imagine someone crosses a boundary with you. Living in conscious duality, you feel the anger or hurt, but instead of reacting from a story of being wronged, you pause, you say, that didn't feel okay, or you walk away, or you respond how you respond. You're not suppressing your feelings, but you're not ruled by them either. You're aware and you act with clarity. Resting as conscious awareness, that moment, the other person's words, your reactions, all arise and pass like waves. You see it, but you don't get pulled in. You trust the natural unfolding without claiming it as belonging to me. It's a subtle shift from I am this person having this experience to this experience is appearing in what I am. As Nisargadatta Maharaj said, wisdom is knowing I am nothing, love is knowing I am everything, and between the two, my life moves. I am nothing because I don't identify with my story or personality. I am everything because everything I experience, every person I love, every emotion that passes through, every sight, sound, and sensation appears in me, as me, and that seeing of this unity of all is what spiritual teachers call love. Not the emotional or romantic love, but love which is the essential nature of the non-separateness of everything. And this is meant to bring space, peace, and ease. At the end of the day, we're not trying to become perfect waves, of course, or disappear into the ocean. We're here perhaps to remember that we are the ocean, even while living as a wave. And that, I think, is wholeness. When I think about wholeness, I think about shedding what isn't me. Because if something is what I am, then I can't lose it. I can only shed what's not me. And this is something so valuable that I have learned from this teaching. I love this quote from Eckhart Tolle. Death is a stripping away of all that is not you. The secret of life is to die before you die and find that there is no death. So when we let go of what isn't solid or lasting, the passing thoughts, identities, and stories, what remains isn't absence, it's presence. In difficult times when all we need to do is survive, though, all this feels like it's impossible. I know it has for me. And that brings us back to trust, something that I'm finding weaves through all wisdom. Trust that what you are doesn't begin or end with this moment. Trust that awareness remains even when we forget, because that's what we are, awareness. So what about you? Does this way of seeing make sense to you? Does it feel helpful or maybe confusing? If this made you pause, reflect, or breathe a little deeper. Subscribe to Wise Discrepancies, because we're all just trying to be as wise as we can, right? And sometimes wisdom isn't about choosing one path, but learning where the paths meet, maybe. Drop your favorite contradictory sayings in the comments, please. I'd love to hear what wisdom you're wrestling with. And here's a mantra to take with you. Let me walk as presence in a world of change. Thanks for listening. Until next time.